Hello, welcome. Welcome. This is the global community for adults who are healing CPTSD. Welcome. We've been meeting up here on a weekly basis for over 9 years now. And it's a joy to come here and be with you every single week. My name is Athena. This YouTube channel is sponsored by the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research, and it's an honor to be here healing right beside you. I'd like to warmly welcome you, especially if this is your very first time being here with us. And I just want to double check and make sure for those who are here for our live discussion. Can you hear me okay? My audio was not working, and it says that it is, but you just want to make sure that you can be heard. So a warm welcome to you, Miss Poppy. A warm welcome to you, Midnight Blue. A warm welcome to you, Jeffrey Sherman. Oh, I'm so glad you can hear me. Thank you very much. A warm welcome to you, Timothy. I'm glad you all can hear me. Thank you so much. A warm welcome to you, John Harvey. A warm welcome to you, Emily. So good to be here with you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for the thumbs up if you find this video helpful, and thank you for subscribing to the channel if that's something you feel would be helpful and supportive for your unique healing journey. So this channel has sort of evolved over the years. What started off over 9 years ago was a weekly meetup where it was before YouTube had a chat box. So we had a hashtag that we created over on Twitter, and everyone would tweet using the hashtag, and we would go live on YouTube. A colleague and I would go live on YouTube, and we would follow the hashtag on Twitter, and we would read your tweets out loud, and we would answer your questions. And over 9 years, almost 10 years now, our discussions on a weekly basis have transformed and sort of morphed and shifted and landed in a place where we all are so very grateful for this sacred, safe space that we get to arrive at every single week. We are not here by chance, we are here by choice. It would be nearly next to impossible for you to be here on accident. You would need to already be curious about what CPTSD is, because it doesn't quote unquote exist in the United States, and it only quote unquote has existed in other parts of the world as of 1 year ago in February. So less than 2 years ago. And yet, here we are, talking about it. Repeated relational trauma, complex PTSD, and we are here to heal. We are all healing side by side in this community. We meet up just like this here on YouTube on Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we have something similar to this 2 times a day, every day, over at the Foundation, which the link is in the pinned comment in the chat box, in the description section of the video, and in the chat box right there. So we have daily recovery support calls that we have that are very similar to this, psychoeducational in nature, and sometimes exactly what we are doing here on Mondays. In fact, our Monday time together here on YouTube is almost identical to what we do twice on Sundays. twice on Sundays. We have a call just like this, but it's not on social media. It's over on a private server. So thank you so much for your support and encouragement over the years, almost a decade. And it's an honor to be here with you. So without further delay, thank you so much. We will go ahead and dive in. What we've been doing over the past few years now is we've been doing a meditation or a devotional. This past year, we have woven in a healing strategy and affirmation, and we've also been doing some breath work together. So, as always, I will describe my setup for you, and we are going to talk about regulating our nervous system, which is something that complex trauma survivors really struggle to do. We struggle to not only self-regulate, but co-regulate. We struggle to regulate our nervous system. So we are going to talk about regulating our nervous system today. We are going to practice regulating our nervous system today. And we are going to glance at 7 different ways we can continue to regulate our nervous system between now and 1 week from now when we meet back here again. So 7 different strategies. You can try one a day. You can pick one and do it every day. You can skip it all. Just like they say in the 12-step rooms, take the best and leave the rest. So if these ideas and strategies are something that resonate with you, great. If not, that's okay. I'm very grateful that you've chosen to be here today. So we have our meditation with Morgan Harper Nichols. We have our healing strategy with Dr. Ariel Schwartz. And then in about 30 to 45 minutes, we'll end our time together with our Loving the Self affirmation by Lisa A. Romano. So let us begin with some breath work. As I said, I'll describe my setup for you and we'll get started. I am sitting in my workspace. I have my feet propped out up in front of me so that I can be comfortable. I have a glass of cool water nearby because it is very, 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 very hot. Depending on where you're located in the world, it is very, very, very hot today. I have a pillow supporting my posture. I have a strong spine and a soft heart space and a soft belly. I'm going to take a sip of water and then we will do some box breathing together. We will breathe in for 4 counts. We will hold for 4 counts. We will breathe out for 4 counts. And we will do this 4 times. You are welcome to make yourselves very, very comfortable. Close down your eyes or soften your gaze, whatever feels safest and most supportive to you. Let us begin. I will guide you in our first breath together and our 4th breath together. And you'll be breathing on your own on the 2nd and 3rd breath. Let us breathe in 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. On your own now. Again. Last time, together now. Breathe in 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Longer now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? My deepest hope is that you're able to co-regulate together here in this room. I imagine all of us glancing around at one another with compassion in our eyes, sitting with one another in silent solidarity. I honor you, I honor your practice, and I honor your healing journey. How are you feeling? John Harvey says, groovy. Timothy says, and a very soothing voice. Thank you so much. Midnight Blue says, thanks, Athena. Calmer. I'm so glad. So very glad. Oh, I missed something. What did Jeffrey say? Jeffrey Sherman says, Athena, I went to the drugstore a few months ago and they needed my doctor to provide an ICD-9 code for a medication. So at least in some places it's used and not just the DSM-5. Exactly. Yes. Thank you for sharing, Jeffrey Sherman. So the ICD-11 is where CPTSD is actually mentioned and has a standalone treatment code, standalone DX code, and the ICD-11 is the first edition of the ICD, which stands for International Classification of Diseases. And so prior to the ICD-11, the 11th edition being published in February of 2022, most places for treatment were using the ICD-10 or the ICD-9. And the purpose of this is, in United States, we are able to have a diagnostic code and a treatment plan code, a DX and a TX. So the DX code, meaning diagnostic code, is what has been added to the ICD-11. That's very exciting times we're living in. Very exciting. And this is such an encouragement, Jeffrey Sherman. Thank you so much for sharing. Emily says, I can regulate better at times, but life has been throwing so many curveballs at me, and wasting 2 hours to get my car when Enterprise was supposed to pick me up turned into a wasted 2 hours. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Emily. Emily goes on to say, and then throw that on poor temperature and every other crisis and not enough food or sleep. How do you all maintain capacity to practice regulation when life just keeps blowing up? Well, first of all, I just want to witness you with such deep compassion, Emily, because what you're describing is so common. We will find ourselves in a situation where we've run out of choices and tools. And so my hope in being here on Mondays and having all of the free replays available is that this is one place where people can click and have tools and choices when the rest of the world is not delivering tools and choices. So please, with my hand on my heart, please know that I want to acknowledge how frustrating and just disappointing life can be sometimes. And I want to validate that not having enough food or sleep and being in poor temperature, which can be a trigger, by the way, this is all very valid. Very, very, very valid. I have such deep empathy for everything you've described. And again, my heart is for you to feel warmly welcomed here and for you to be able to come back to this place again and again and take the best and leave the rest. Mark the videos that you enjoy and that you find to be helpful and supportive or interesting or soothing. And perhaps listen to those during times of distress. Midnight Blue says, you are not alone. And Emily, I am here if you need to chat. Oh, thank you so much, Midnight Blue. You're so kind. Midnight Blue says, one way, Emily, is coming to places like this. Absolutely, yes. Thank you so much. You all are so kind. Emily says, thanks, Midnight Blue. I'm trying so hard, but I am so tired and alone. I know so many of us are. I'm offering you so much compassion, Emily. Yeah. Loneliness. Yeah, loneliness can be so painful. Listening is helping and being here, but I still have to finish things for work and go to sleep. I'm offering you so much compassion, Emily. Yes, Emily says, at least remembering that I can breathe like this, it helps at times. Yeah, Jeffrey Sherman says, we don't do it perfectly. Most of us would probably say we can't do it all sometimes. We are here with you and sending love. Yeah. And Midnight Blue is relating, and Poppy is here with you. She says, we see you, Emily. You are not alone. Oh, Emily says thank you. Timothy says, translating those codes, it means that your health insurance may cover your treatment, unlike 40 years ago. With good insurance, you were lucky if insurance covered 50% of therapy sessions. Yeah. Part of the reason why the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research exists is so that we can raise awareness about CPTSD. CPTSD Awareness Day is every year on September 2nd. So in a few days, it's our 4th annual CPTSD Awareness Day. And one of the main goals of our existence is to have the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, 6th edition, since we're already in 5R, and that they will follow suit with the ICD-11 and have a standalone DX code so that all insurance, including government-funded insurance, would cover not only mental health care and 100% of your therapy sessions, but also any treatment and treatment recommendations that would be recommended by your licensed clinicians. So that is part of our goal as an organization, and we operate, we're 100% community funded and volunteer led, and we operate on grants and donations and whatever the community pays and donates in order to access all of the thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of resources that we have in the content library. So thank you all so much just for having this dialogue and this conversation. It's so very important. So yeah, John Harvey says, you will never be alone in this family. Yes, we are family. We are our friendly family of choice. Yeah. Emily says that she replays the videos too. A warm welcome to you, Jennifer. Jennifer says, hello, everyone. Athena, I hope you're coping day by day the best you can. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm offering you so much compassion and safety as you deal with the hurricane. Midnight Blue says, that's awesome, Athena. Many people don't even realize that it is not just veterans that get PTSD. That is so very true, Midnight Blue. We are raising awareness little by little, day by day, moment by moment sometimes. Emily says, thank you. I know it helps me have more compassion for others. Yeah. A rotten deal that to have this compassion, sometimes we have to be a part of the clan of the afflicted. Yes. We are a family, a friendly family of choice. Family for life. Where's my hashtag? Family for life. You all are so wonderful. I appreciate you. So we are going to transition out of our breath work, and we are going to be transitioning into our time of devotion and meditation with Morgan Harper Nichols. And I just love Morgan and her gentle way, just helping us to embrace the journey little by little by little. She is just, her artwork is what you see up on the screen right now, and her words are so poignant and so poetic. She's reminding us that we are still learning and growing, and we are still evolving. And the invitation this week is, may we never forget all the courage it took just to be here. May we never forget. She says, every day the sun rises anew, casting light on a world that is constantly changing, constantly evolving. And in this ever-changing world, you too are evolving, growing, learning. Each day brings with it new experiences, new lessons, and new opportunities to learn and grow, even in the smallest ways. And even if you can't remember every detail about your life from, let's say, last September, you have still grown and changed since then. Even if the growth doesn't feel linear, and even when you can't see any physical, tangible progress, this remains true. You know more today than you knew back then. Amidst the uncertainty, when sorting through the myriad of feelings and thoughts feels daunting, remember that clarity isn't always immediate. It's perfectly okay to not know how everything will fit together. However, this ambiguity does not diminish the potential for significance in your life right here in the present. For oftentimes, meaningful life can be found in the photographs we capture, the conversations we share, the memories we savor, and whatever understated moment that reminds us that it's always worth it to pause a little more and go a little deeper and to taste the richness of life right here. And perhaps, with all that considered, you are not out of time to live a meaningful life. Perhaps after everything, the sun still rose today, and that means something. Savor the moments in the warmth of the light as much as you can. So, take a deep breath. And take in the beauty of this moment, the beauty of now. And remember that you are here in this moment. And in this moment, there is room to exhale and to accept the invitation to come alive right here. You are still learning, still growing, still evolving. And this is a beautiful thing. So embrace the new. Embrace the opportunity to learn and grow. Embrace all of the flickers of life you encounter on the journey. So this is the invitation, you guys, to embrace the journey. We are embracing the journey. Hello, Ninja Taco. So good to see you, Rick, everybody. So glad to see you. How's everybody doing? Hello to anyone I have not greeted by name. I think I got a chance to say hi to everyone. So we will transition from our meditation with Morgan Harper Nichols into our healing strategy with Dr. Ariel Schwartz. And this week we are talking about nourishing our nervous system. Nourishing our nervous system. Okay, if you want to pause and get a sip of water, make yourselves very comfortable. You can lean back, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. Ariel, this week, she is reminding us about the healing power of our vagus nerve, okay, as part of our nourishing of our nervous system. So we can always access the power of our vagus nerve through our social nervous system. Our social nervous system is our most recently evolved circuit of the vagus nerve. And this social nervous system, this most recently evolved circuit of our vagus nerve, is what can help us to feel safe and connected. Now I'm going to pause right there on the words safe and connected. And I want to acknowledge that not all complex trauma survivors know what it feels like to experience safety. For many of us, we have like question marks floating above our head when people talk about a felt sense of safety. Like, what even is that? What does that mean? And so instead of using the word safe, what I want to invite you to glance at with curiosity are the words grounded, neutral, and connected. So our social nervous system can help us to feel. It's the most recently evolved circuit in the vagus nerve, and it can help us feel grounded, neutral, and connected. So grounded, meaning in the body, fully present. Neutral, meaning neutral or better, meaning that we are not feeling afraid, and connected, meaning that we are connected to the here and the now, glancing around the room, noticing our safety cues. If we don't have a felt sense of safety, but we can access grounded, neutral, and connected, then this is helpful. And one of the ways we can feel grounded, neutral, and connected is by glancing around our space and looking for any safety cues, anything at all that helps us to feel grounded, neutral, and connected. For me, I'm glancing across the room and I'm seeing a couple of my plants. I can see 3 of them right now, and they're doing quite well. They're happy where I have them, and they help me to feel grounded, neutral, and connected. I feel here in the present moment because I'm able to look at my plants that I have been nurturing. Okay, so when we are able to access our safety cues and feel grounded, neutral, and connected, this is going to help us to manage our parasympathetic nervous system so that we may remain calm whenever we start to feel distressed. Now, if you're here on a YouTube channel from CPTSD Foundation, then you are more than a little bit familiar with the feeling of being distressed. Okay? So we're going to propose 7 different options that we can choose from on ways to feel grounded, neutral, and connected sometime between now and next Monday when we are back here together. Okay? Now it's important for when you decide to do this practice, make sure that you are in a place where you feel grounded, neutral, and connected, and that it's the proper time of day where you are predictably going to be able to feel grounded, neutral, and connected. Okay, so you can take your time and come back to this whenever you like. You can simply fast forward the video to 37 or 38 minutes. And then you can let me know how you feel in the comment section down below the video. Okay? So here are 7 different ways that we can access the healing power of our vagus nerve through our social nervous system, the most recently evolved circuit of the vagus nerve. And ideally, these 7 options will nourish our nervous system in a way where we may feel safe or grounded, neutral, and connected, and we will be able to manage our parasympathetic nervous system and remain calm when we start to feel distressed. Okay? Think of muscle memory. Think of creating those new neurological pathways in the brain. You're creating a new road to go down whenever a trigger comes, whenever you see a flashback on the horizon, or you're surprised by one. Okay? The first option is to listen to a soothing piece of music, and when you listen to it, hum along with the music, and this will stimulate your vagus nerve. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you wanted to share in the comment section or in the chat box. How do you feel about listening to a soothing piece of music and humming along? How do you feel about that? This is going to help stimulate the vagus nerve. We learned in one of our daily recovery support calls last week that rocking the body and humming and breathing deeply are 3 ways that we can access and soothe our nervous system. 3 of the quickest ways. So that's the first option, listening to a soothing piece of music and humming along, and this will stimulate our vagus nerve. The second option is to bring one hand over your heart and then one hand over your belly, and then we take several deep breaths. I'm going to do this with you right now. You're invited to glance at the possibility of putting one hand over your heart and one hand over your belly and taking a couple of deep breaths with me. How did you feel? Did you take those deep breaths along with me? I don't even know if you can hear me taking my deep breaths, because when I'm leading all of our classes and our groups over on Zoom, it doesn't allow anyone to hear me breathing, so it's just dead silence. Our third option is to bring our hands lovingly over our face and our head, and to gently touch our cheeks and move our hands over the top of our head. Imagine that you are touching the face of someone very dear to you, or a child, with tender, loving care. So that was our third option, bringing our hands lovingly over our face, up towards our head, gently touching our cheeks, and moving our hands over the top of our head, imagining we are touching the face of someone dear to us or a child with loving care. Our fourth option to nourish our nervous system is to engage our sense of smell with an essential oil that brings a positive feeling. We got into this discussion about essential oils last night during one of our groups, and it's interesting how many people don't find a single essential oil to be as soothing, and it doesn't evoke a positive feeling. But when mixing a couple of different essential oils together, it becomes more soothing and more positive. I am one of those people. And another one of our community members was sharing that she liked it as well. And a couple of other people had, I think, commented or chimed in a bit as well. So I don't love the smell of lavender essential oil by itself, and I don't love the scent of eucalyptus essential oil on its own either. But when I combine lavender and eucalyptus together, I absolutely love it. It's something I absolutely treasure. In fact, I have it over next to my bed, on my nightstand, on the bedside table, in a little spray bottle to spray on my bedding. And I do that every night. Excuse me, I mean to clear my throat in your ears. Let me get a sip of water. Looks like my voice is telling me it's time to wrap up. We did run a little bit longer tonight than usual. I often lose my voice on Sundays and Mondays and sometimes Tuesdays. So our fourth option of nourishing our nervous system is to engage our sense of smell with an essential oil or a combination of essential oils that bring a positive feeling. Our fifth option of nourishing our nervous system is to reflect on a memory of a time when you felt connected and loved. Allow yourself to relax into the positive feelings of the memory. I know I've shared this with many of you, either in person or here on a Monday, but one of my most favorite memories of a time when I felt connected and loved was right after my son graduated undergrad and his wife, my daughter-in-law, graduated with her doctorate, and they graduated a couple of days apart from one another, and all they wanted for their graduation was for everyone to get together and go to Disneyland. And so we did. We all went to Disneyland together. It was me, my son, my daughter-in-law, and her whole family. And we all ran around the park all day together and all night. It was wonderful. We took pictures, we rode the rides, we ate together, we laughed, we walked, we talked, we waited in lines a lot. My favorite memory of Disneyland with them that time was walking down Main Street. I remember exactly where we were on Main Street at Disneyland, and my son put his arm around my shoulder, and I glanced over, and his wife was walking next to him, and I could see her, and I looked up at him, and I remember thinking that that was my most favorite moment, that it was my most favorite day, up until that moment of my life. I was so proud of my son, so proud of my daughter-in-law, so happy for them that they had been together for so many years. They just celebrated 10 years of marriage. They've been together for, I think, over 12 years now. But that is the memory I reflect on when I want to feel connected and loved. I allow myself to relax into the positive feelings of that memory. Our sixth option is to snuggle with a pet, a stuffed animal, or a soft blanket. Snuggle with a pet, a stuffed animal, or a soft blanket. Do you have a favorite pet? Or a favorite stuffed animal? Or a favorite soft texture of clothing or blanket? Do you have a favorite fabric? I love cotton, just 100% brushed cotton. I love cotton. It feels soft, it lasts a long time. I like a decent thread count in the cotton so that there's minimal pilling, where the threads all get wadded up together. I like for it to remain soft. I like cotton because it can keep you warm or it can keep you cool. I don't know what my favorite stuffed animal or stuffy would be. Perhaps the angel bear that I got from one of you all in our community. You sent it to me in the mail. It's a little white bear with little angel wings on it. Or this little stuffed pineapple that one of you guys gave me. I named her Penelope. Angel bear is named Angel. And then I also have a stuffed strawberry shortcake doll that was sent to me by one of you all in the mail, because I had told you a story about how I'd always wanted a little strawberry shortcake when I was growing up and I never got one. One of those three would probably be my favorite. And our last option, our last choice, number 7 on the list for nourishing our nervous system, is to call a caring friend and to savor the experience of being connected. Call a caring friend and savor the experience of being connected. I called my cousin the other day because I hadn't heard her voice in a few weeks, and it felt really nice to just talk with her and be connected with her, even though it was only for about 5 minutes or so, maybe 10. But it was still very, very, very nice to hear her voice, and I was able to just savor the experience of being connected with her. So there you go, our 7 options of nourishing our nervous system. Just one more way we are embracing this healing journey. We are embracing the journey, right? I'll go through them rapidly now. Our 7 options for nourishing the nervous system. Number 1, listen to a soothing piece of music and hum along to stimulate your vagus nerve. Number 2, bring one hand over your heart and one hand over your belly and take several deep breaths. Number 3, bring your hands lovingly over your face and head. Gently touch your cheeks or move your hands over the top of your head. Imagine that you are touching the face of a dear friend, someone dear to you, or a child, with loving care. Number 4, engage your sense of smell with an essential oil that brings a positive feeling. Number 5, reflect on a memory of a time when you felt connected and loved. Allow yourself to relax into the positive feelings of the memory. Number 6, snuggle with a pet or a stuffed animal or a soft blanket. And number 7, call a caring friend and savor the experience of being connected. Those are 7 ways we can access the healing power of our vagus nerve through our social nervous system and nourish our nervous system. This will help us to manage our parasympathetic nervous system so that we may remain calm when we start to feel distressed. As we wrap up our time together, we're going to have our Loving the Self affirmation with Lisa A. Romano. And here we go. As trauma survivors, sometimes we may find a number of ways of avoiding true intimacy. Sometimes we avoid emotions. Sometimes we avoid having conversations we know we should have. Because when we were children, we were not taught how to communicate in healthy and intimate ways, we may not know how to say what we mean and how to mean what we say. Today, I will honor my feelings and begin having more positive, nurturing, and empathetic inner dialogue. I am healing my inner child, and I am learning how to effectively communicate my ideas, needs, and wants to others. And most importantly, I am learning to hear and honor the self. I am capable of effective inner and outer communication. We are capable. Look at us embracing our journey. We definitely went over time today. We definitely spent longer together today than we usually do. It was wonderful to be here with you. I look forward to seeing you all back here next Monday and every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, or over in our community where we meet up every single day. But between now and when I see you again, may you be kind with yourself. May you be patient with yourself. May you be gentle with yourself. Because you're worth it. I look forward to seeing you soon. Good night, everyone.